Hey, what's up? Welcome to Free Advice Friday. I'm just posting on the other social media platforms, letting people know we're live and they can join the fun. And we're going to hang out for a little while, have some fun. It's the birthday edition of Free Advice Friday. I will be honest with you. Generally speaking, I am not really big on birthdays, and celebrating birthdays is not something that I celebrate everybody else's birthday. I just couldn't give a rip about my own. But I have decided in the last few years to embrace it as an opportunity to do some fun things and give back to the VO community in a fun way. So every year on my birthday, I always try to come up with something fun and cool that we can do. And it just happened to work out this time around that my birthday fell on a Friday. So hey, why not do Free Advice Friday live on YouTube? Do the birthday edition. And in the midst of all of that, we'll have some fun and maybe we'll give away some prizes as well. So that was kind of what the thought process was. So as we go on throughout the day, I'll be honest with you. I thought we'll give away some prizes. I haven't really thought about specifically what that is going to look like yet. I haven't thought about, I know obviously what kind of prizes I'm going to give away. I just haven't thought about how it's specifically going to work. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll make it up as we go, and it'll be fun. And in the midst of all of that, we'll also answer some questions and dispense some free advice on a Friday. So welcome to Liz, Mark, Annette, Kiri, Joan, Jennifer, Liza, Stephen, Sean, Derek, Amy, Lisa. Thank you guys. Suzanne, welcome. I'm here for the prizes. Suzanne, just for that, you don't win any prizes. Suzanne, you've got to spend a whole entire year with me. What more could you possibly need beyond spending a whole entire year with me? Honestly, that's like the greatest gift ever. Like the only other person that gets that much time with me is my wife. And she's obviously the most happiest and blessed person on planet Earth. So I don't know what more you could possibly want there, Suzanne. For those of you that don't understand right now, Suzanne's in my mastermind group this year, and we've been spending a lot of quality time together this year while I'm putting boot to butt on her, and we're working on growing her voiceover business. But thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. Looking forward to spending a little bit of time with you. VO North happening this weekend. For any of you who may be checking in live from Toronto or on your way to Toronto, I hope you have a great time at VO North. I'm going to be there tomorrow afternoon for a few hours, speaking on the business and marketing panel, and looking forward to that. It's actually going to be my first in-person conference that I have done since WovoCon in 2019. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back into the conference world and spending some time with some people and seeing some people in real life. It's been a while since I saw some people in real life. So let's see. We are going to definitely give away some prizes. That is definitely going to happen, and I'm going to think about how I'm going to do that. But I will give away some of my master classes just for the fun of it throughout this live stream. So stick around, and as I figure out how that's going to work or what that's going to look like, certainly some prizes will be awarded. Just before we dive in, by the way, if you have a question, it's still Free Advice Friday. So if you do have questions that you would like to get answered, please type those into the comments. I'm keeping an eye on those, and I will certainly answer your questions for Free Advice Friday. I did want to mention the new episode of the podcast. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that one yet, the online casting series has started now, and Armin is the first one up. So I'm interviewed Armin of Bodalgo, the VO rock star. Obviously, Bodalgo, one of the most popular casting sites that exists, with a very interesting origin story that, in good German fashion, does involve beer. We talk about that in the interview. We talk about some of the features that are on Bodalgo, some things that are coming to the platform, whether or not Armin's worried about recession fears, and if he's seen any evidence of that on the platform yet. So really, really great interview, really fun interview. Had a good time recording with Armin. So that episode is out now, of course, at vopreneur.com or wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. And then coming up on the podcast as this online casting series continues, I'm going to be talking to Liz from Cast Voices, Rolf from Voice 123, Miles from Voquent is lined up, and hoping to be able to talk to Kevin West from VO Planet as well. But check that interview out. I threw the link in the chat there, an interview with Armin of Bodalgo, episode 176. Listen wherever you enjoy podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, it's everywhere. Or, of course, online at vopreneur.com. Let's see. Sean says, I couldn't find your article or podcast about hashtag use. I thought you posted it in the past week, but I couldn't find it. I did post something on LinkedIn earlier this week about hashtags. So here's the deal. LinkedIn has adopted a kind of a similar stance for now as Instagram. So Instagram allows you to post up to 30 hashtags in your caption area. However, the head of Instagram has said that really only the first 5 matter. So that's not to say that you wouldn't still get indexed for the remaining hashtags, but it's those first 5 that are really going to make the most difference in whether or not you get indexed and how you get indexed and how you appear in search and all of that sort of fun stuff. It's very complicated to try to understand. So really the strategy on Instagram is make the first 5 hashtags the best hashtags, the most relevant hashtags. And relevancy is important. You can't post your voiceover demo and then throw in 30 trending hashtags on Instagram that have nothing to do with voiceovers. So the content and the hashtags do have to match, but make those first 5 the most relevant, best suited hashtags to your content. And then if you do want to use more, you can. It's just not going to make a huge difference. Now, LinkedIn has recently said that 3 to 5 hashtags is kind of the sweet spot on the platform. And so what they're saying is that you want to pick a couple of hashtags that are, very relevant to the content. The first couple hashtags very relevant to the type of content, and then maybe a couple of hashtags that are relevant to the niche or to the audience that you're trying to reach. And so what they're recognizing is, look, I'm a voice actor who primarily is going to post about voice acting, but I'm also going to post about productivity. I'm also going to post about motivation. I'm also going to post about e-learning and different things like that. And so I can use a couple of other hashtags that I'm consistently sharing, but then also target with a couple of hashtags based on the content itself. And so that's kind of where it's at right now with hashtags, at least for those 2 particular platforms, LinkedIn and for Instagram as well. So really it's kind of that 3 to 5 sweet spot is what you're looking at if you want to get some results from your hashtags. If you do go over to LinkedIn, I'm pulling it up on my profile right now. Let's see, where was that? Show all activity posts. There it is. Okay, so LinkedIn recommends 3 to 5 hashtags. Choose a couple of general hashtags that fit your broader audience. So, that might be voice actors, for example. But then choose a couple more that are specific and targeted tags that are relevant to the content that you are sharing. So that's the strategy that LinkedIn is talking about. And that was a post that I shared on my profile. It does make a difference, right? Hashtag strategies can't just throw out 1,000 different hashtags and hope that that's going to work. The different platforms have programmed their algorithms to work in different ways. So again, for those of you jumping in, lots of people jumping into the broadcast right now, Free Advice Friday. We're still doing Free Advice Friday. It is the birthday edition. I called it the birthday edition. If you do have a question that you would like to ask, a question that you would like to get answered, type it into the comments. I'm keeping an eye out for those questions, and I will be answering your questions. And mixed in with all of that, we'll give away a few prizes as well, just for the fun of it. All right, Brent. Let's see. Brent says, question. I sent out some cold emails about 18 months ago. Since then, I've gotten a new demo. Should I contact the same ones again, or would that be a waste of time? Absolutely, you should contact them again, Brent. Of course, you should contact them again. One of the things that we know about marketing is that it's going to take you a minimum of 3 to 5 interactions before you even probably start to see any real traction. So a follow-up strategy is absolutely essential to your success if you are going to convert some of these potential leads into eventually voiceover clients. So absolutely reaching out to them again, letting them know that you have a new demo. I would absolutely suggest that. And then I think that it's also important that you have a strategy for regular follow-up going forward so that you're not just sending one email and then forgetting about them. I mean, with prospects, I'm trying to keep in contact with them every 30 days or so. Brent, I'll tell you what, you're going to be the first prize winner of the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to award you a copy of Follow-Up Academy. My Follow-Up Academy Masterclass is going to teach you exactly what we were just talking about. So, Brent, here's what I want you to do. I want you to send me an email to mark@markscottvoiceover.com. Let me put that in the chat here. Email address, mark@markscottvoiceover.com. So, Brent, send me an email. And I've written your name down, but send me an email and just let me know that you were awarded Follow-Up Academy on Free Advice Friday. And when the broadcast is done a little bit later on this afternoon, I will get you hooked up with that, with access to that course. There you go. That's how the giveaways are going to work. They're just going to be completely random throughout the broadcast, but looking forward to awarding some prizes. Let me mention as well, guys, everything in my store right now, we'll call it the birthday sale. Every class that I have in my store right now, Follow-Up Academy, Making Money with LinkedIn, 101 Ways to Find Voiceover Leads, Booking in Your Backyard, my email marketing templates, every single thing that I have in my store, I'm gonna have it on sale for the day. $50 off any one of those classes. Mark's birthday sale. So what I would encourage you with is wait until the end of the broadcast because, hey, maybe you're going to win a prize for free. But after the broadcast is complete, if you're interested in checking out one of those classes, if you sign up for it today, you'll save $50, and there you go. So that'll be that'll be another part of Mark's birthday extravaganza happening here live on YouTube. All right, Briscoe VO says, great interview with Armin. I'm glad you asked him the tough questions, and I tried to do that. I said, I got to be careful when I'm doing some of these interviews with these casting site CEOs because I don't want them to feel like I'm ambushing them. But I also do want to ask some of the difficult questions. I got into that with Liz Atherton from Cast Voices, and Liz was amazing, and she was very forthcoming, and she was welcoming of the tough questions because she knows they need to be asked. And Rolf from Voice 123 was fantastic as well. I asked some tough questions of him about Voice 123 and some of the stuff on the platform. So those interviews are going to be coming out over the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for that for the online casting series. My Stuttering Life, hello from Houston. Welcome to the broadcast. There's Lisa watching from BC. Jennifer, welcome. What are some of your best strategies for marketing a shiny new demo? That is Jennifer's question. Jennifer, great question. I think there's a lot of different things that you can do for marketing that shiny new demo, but first and foremost, spread it out. When a new demo comes in, we're really excited. And the very first thing we want to do is have everybody in the whole free world listen to that demo. And so we'll blitz it out across all of our social media channels at the same time. And I think that we actually cost ourselves views and engagement by doing that because if I log into LinkedIn and see your demo, and then 10 minutes later, I log into Twitter and see your demo, and then 10 minutes later, I log into Facebook and see your demo, it's like, holy crap. But maybe I log into LinkedIn today and I see your demo and I don't have time to engage with it. But maybe tomorrow I see that you've shared it on Instagram and maybe I do have time to engage with it. And so I think by spreading it out first and foremost, I think you get a lot more traction out of it. So I would say different days of the week and also different day parts. And what I mean by that is maybe you post it in the morning on one platform and maybe in the afternoon on another platform. And so you kind of sprinkle it out that way. So I think that's absolutely one thing that you can do to market that demo. I think that it is absolutely to your advantage to create a video version of your demo when you want to market. I think it's the easiest way to share that on the different platforms. Plus, you can upload that video version to YouTube. Two really easy ways to create video versions of your demos. Use Canva or use Headliner, headliner.app. That's the website, headliner.app, or of course, canva.com, create video versions. But here's something else I would consider. In addition to creating a full-length video version of your demo, so your demo as a whole, why not create individual videos for each of the separate clips on your demo? Because now, and Jennifer, in your case, I know you've got an e-learning demo to market. So now instead of marketing an e-learning demo as just a general marketing tool for an e-learning demo, now you have what, 4 clips, 5 clips, 6 clips on your e-learning demo. Now you can target based on genre, based on niche, based on style. Like, this is my warm and caring e-learning read. This is my authoritative e-learning read. This is my friendly and conversational e-learning read. And so you can get much more targeted when you're writing out those posts. And whereas one main video demo creates one social media opportunity, you post it once on LinkedIn. If you create individual videos for each of the separate tracks, now you've got what? 5 different videos that you can share across social media. And if you share those 5 different videos across 3 or 4 different platforms and you spread them out every couple of days, those 5 pieces of content that you've created could literally make for 30 days worth of sharing content. So that's something else that I would be thinking about with any new demo that you're creating. And then, of course, you got to let your clients know. Right? I think that you've got to target your e-learning clients, or, whatever genre your demo may be in, but you target them and let them know that the new demo is there. That's a great excuse to send somebody an email and get top of mind with them again. Hey, I wanted to let you know that I recently completed a new demo. It's available to listen to on my website. However, if you'd like to have an MP3 copy to keep on file, I'm happy to send one to you. And so you create a little bit of an interaction there. And I would also be sending a separate email to my e-learning prospects to let them know. And again, it doesn't all have to happen at the exact same time. I don't think it should all happen at the exact same time. I think you should be definitely spreading it out. But that way you're going to get a lot more traction, right? It gives you the opportunity to turn that one piece of content into a month's worth of sharing. So hopefully that answers your question, Jennifer. It's a really great question. It's something that everybody should be thinking about, because obviously our demo is our number one marketing tool, and we want to make sure that we are sharing that in as many different places as possible, but also doing it as effectively as possible. So again, welcome to Free Advice Friday. It's the birthday edition of Free Advice Friday. Today is my birthday, and so I'm feeling generous. I'm going to be giving away some prizes at random throughout the broadcast, awarding some access to some of my master classes. We've already given one away. Congratulations to Brent, who won Follow Up Academy. But I'm also going to be hanging out and answering your voiceover questions. So if you've got a question that you would like to get answered, type that question in the comments. I will be keeping an eye on the comments and answering questions as we go along. Mason says, interesting. Guess I need to reset my hashtags for my content then. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, talking about content strategy. And again, there's nothing wrong with having more hashtags. I think the most important thing is if the platform says, like LinkedIn says 3 to 5, Instagram says about 5. I think the most important thing is that those first 5 are the key hashtags. Those are the most important key hashtags. Kim says, I don't usually include hashtag voiceover in my LinkedIn posts because it's drawing the attention of other voice actors, not creative directors and project managers. And there's certainly an argument to be made for that. One of the things that I always say is, what hashtags are your buyers using? So I'm in a little bit of a unique position because I do post voiceover related coaching content. And so there is an aspect of my business that wants to attract in voiceovers and get voice actors looking at my content. However, I also want to get some of my content. I want to get eyes from e-learning professionals. And so I look and see what are the hashtags that e-learning professionals are using. And I pay attention to that because I'm connected to a lot of e-learning professionals in my network. So I would definitely say that part of your strategy needs to be figuring out what are the hashtags that my buyers are using. If you're trying to attract documentary people, documentary leads, look at the hashtags that they're using. Are you trying to connect with video producers? All right, find 20 different video producers on Instagram and see what hashtags they're using repeatedly over and over and over again. From that, can you determine the 5 best hashtags or the 5 most common hashtags? And that becomes part of your strategy. And so that's how you use the hashtags a little bit more strategically. Amy says, for those of us unable to attend the conference this weekend, would you kindly share a sample of your presentation topics you plan to discuss? Amy, I'm actually just sitting on a business and marketing panel. So I will be on that panel. I think it's like an hour or a 90-minute panel or something like that. There's going to be several of us that are sitting on it. And there's a moderator who's going to ask questions, and they're going to be taking questions from the crowd. So I can't tell you what we're going to talk about because I don't actually know at this point. It's going to depend entirely on what questions the moderators are asking. All right, let's see. Robert says, I know we've discussed in an earlier blog your thoughts on pay to plays. With the most recent developments at VO and your latest comments, where should we put our money in regards to pay to plays? Okay, so there's been a lot of hype about one particular site, the one particular Canadian online casting site. They made some news this last week or 2 weeks ago, maybe, where they are following with the trends in the industry. And we are now going to offer our clients the opportunity to book voiceovers between the budget of $5 and $100. And this is all in an effort to get more auditions for our voice actors, which it's total freaking crap, like complete and utter crap. My benevolent casting site is going to take my $499 US membership, and in exchange, they are going to so graciously provide me with the opportunity to do $5 voiceovers on their platform, where they're also going to take a 20% escrow fee. Are you freaking kidding me? But they're selling it and voice actors are buying it. So look, here's the deal. I understand that casting sites are a tool. I understand that casting sites are going to get you access to some really great opportunities. I understand that there are people who only use casting sites, and I do not have an issue with casting sites on the whole. I do have an issue with a casting site who takes $500 of my money and in exchange for that $500 kicks me in the nuts. I'm not a big fan of that. I would prefer to not pay $500 to get kicked in the nuts. So, when it comes to casting sites, I do think that one particular site, which is not even worthy of a name mention other than they're the Canadian Casting Company, and you'll figure out who they are, they do not deserve your dollars any longer. I have not been a big fan of them for years. I got kicked off the platform a number of years ago for calling them out because they were taking hidden commissions up to 90%. And when I publicly called that out, I got kicked off the platform. So I have not been a big fan of them for a long time, but this last one is like this last deal that, $5 voiceovers that we're paying $500 a year to have access to. Like, to me, no, it's not even worth it. If I was signing up for a casting site today, and to be clear, I do not currently use any casting sites, but that is only because I don't have time. If I were going to sign up for a casting site today, I would absolutely sign up for either Voice123 or Bodalgo. I think Voice123 is going to give you the biggest quantity of auditions, some of which will be great and some of which will be lowballs, but you will see the most auditions on a day-to-day basis. Bodalgo, well, you will not see as many opportunities on a day-to-day basis. You will see quality opportunities on a day-to-day basis. And so if I was going to throw money at either or at any site right now, definitely it would be either Bodalgo or it would be Voice123. And that's a great question, Robert. And I want to, because you're looking for auditions and you don't want to be exclusively reliant on casting sites, I'm going to give you access, Robert. Congratulations. You just won access to 101 ways to find voiceover leads. So Robert, do me a favor. I've written your name down, but email me, mark@markscottvoiceover.com. My email address is in the chat there. Email me and say, I won 101 ways to find voiceover leads on Free Advice Friday, and I will make sure that you get set up with access to that masterclass probably a little bit later on this afternoon. I will take care of that. But congratulations. There you go. There's prize number 2 on the birthday edition of Free Advice Friday. Guys, get me going about that casting site. You get me all worked up, Oh, my goodness. Seriously, though. I don't understand why voice actors keep throwing money at that platform. It's so insulting. It is so insulting to pay $500 a year for the opportunity to audition for $5 voiceovers minus the 20% sure pay fee. So you're working for $4. Like, come on, Really? You're working for $4? That's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Big B says voice 123 requires a ton of money to even have a chance, though. It's hard for me to get past that. Actually, that's not true. That's a myth. There are a number of different tiers on voice 123, and each one of those tiers come with different perks. There's no question about that. But your overall ranking on the platform is a bigger factor than your membership tier. I know a lot of voice actors that are buying in at that $400 membership tier that are still doing very well on the site. The key is that you have to have good standing on the site. You've got to be in those upper percentiles. If any of you are thinking about signing up for Voice 123, or if any of you are thinking, I use Voice 123, but I am just not getting enough out of the platform, I would absolutely recommend that you look at the course offering from the V123 Pros. V123 Pros course. I'm going to put this in the chat. If you're going to spend the money on Voice 123, regardless of what membership tier you're buying in at, I think that the course that Natasha and Catherine have put together is absolutely worth the investment. I think it's going to help you get a better return on your investment from the site. So I would definitely be checking that out. All right, let's go back here. I know there's a lot of questions popping up, so let me try to get through to some of these questions. Josie says, quick question. So once I find something personal to write and comment with, how do you end it so that you can give them a CTA of having them listen to your demo? That's how you end it. Give my demo a listen at markscottvoiceover.com. That's literally how I kind of wrap up that email, is encouraging them to visit my website and listen to my demo at markscottvoiceover.com. I truly believe with your email marketing, if you have a really great website and you have really great demos, those are going to do the selling for you. So all you really have to do in your marketing is just try to get people onto your website. If you can get people onto your website, let your demos do the selling for you. All right, let's see. Where are we going? I'd love to know if you have any great tips to encourage engagement with email newsletters. This hooks in nicely with Mark's question above. Happy birthday again. Thank you. Creating engagement on newsletters. The biggest thing is, does this email add value to the recipient? I think that's really important. Does this email add value to the recipient? If you're sending out emails to your clients to say, it's been a really great month, and I worked with this client and this client and this client, and here's a picture of my dog, that does not add value. Most people don't care. However, if you can get in their inbox and say, I recently made an upgrade to my studio because I want to make sure that I'm providing you with the best possible sound quality, and then you post a picture of the new booth with the microphone or whatever, that's something that does add value. And so that's one thing I would always be thinking about. Is this a good enough reason to get in their inbox? Now, that doesn't necessarily always mean that you're going to get engagement, but here's the thing. And I think this is what's really important to remember. We want everybody to respond to our emails so that we know that they read our emails, but that's not the way email marketing works. Here's what I consider a success. This is a success sign for email marketing. Did they unsubscribe? If they didn't unsubscribe, then great. That's success for me. The best example that I can give, many of you probably receive my my regular newsletters where I talk about, my latest video tip, latest episode of the podcast, or things like that. And I would guess that I can guarantee you that 70% of people do not open those emails. I can see the email statistics. My open rate on average is between 30 and 35%. That's my open rate from my newsletters. However, just because you're not opening every newsletter doesn't mean that you don't want to hear from me anymore. You're just looking for the right newsletter. You're looking for the right video tip, the right podcast. Oh, this one talks about subject lines. I need to know about subject lines. I'm going to read that email. So you stay on my list and you continue to receive my emails, even though you're not reading every single one of my emails. Fine. Same thing goes when you're doing newsletters and email marketing to your clients. As long as they are not unsubscribing, that means that they're still allowing you into their inbox. That means that they still want you in their inbox. And that's a big deal. As long as they still want me in their inbox, I'm happy, even if they never respond to me. Because as long as they're still allowing me in the inbox, it means that there's still potential that they're going to hire me one day. And so it's possible to create engagement by writing better emails. It's possible to create better engagement by giving them a reason to engage. Ask a question. That can work really well, but don't use that as your only metric for whether or not your email marketing is working. If they continue to allow you to send emails, your email marketing is working, in my opinion. That's a really great question, though. All right, let's see. Where are we going? Dun, dun, dun. Eliza says, any recommendations on demo producers who do just 1 or 2 spots at a time, not a full demo? I know Uncle Roy will do refreshes on demos. So I think you could certainly reach out to him. Normally, Uncle Roy would be with us on the broadcast, but he is currently at VO North. I'm looking forward to actually seeing him tomorrow. I'm very excited. I haven't seen Uncle Roy in a couple of years, and so it's going to be good to get together again. But definitely he would be somebody that I would reach out to. He is somebody that is willing to do demo refreshes. Maybe you just want one spot updated or something like that. So I would connect with him. Question: do you recommend creating VO videos on YouTube without any specific brand names to avoid copyright to just showcase our range? This is a really interesting question because there are copyright considerations that go in here, but at the same time, agents, casting directors, things of that nature, part of what they're looking for is how you hit the brand name. Because when you're doing commercial reads in particular, how you hit the brand name is really important. Every voice actor that has a demo has brand names on their demo. Look at my commercial demo. It's got Apple and it's got Tesla and it's got Delta Airlines, and there's no copyright issues in any of those places. I think it's important that you don't say like nasty things about them or whatever, but I do think that you can get away with fair use for using a name. I just think I would be cautious of how I write the copy, but how you hit that brand name is a big part of your demo and what gets judged on your demo. Briscoe VO says, I also just got my e-learning demo I did with JMC. Who do you recommend I market to first? Yeah, start with your clients always. Market it to your e-learning clients first, market it to your e-learning prospects second, and then start marketing it to your to new e-learning leads. And I think you've got to absolutely be marketing to e-learning leads. You want as many people to hear that demo as possible. I got to catch up here. A lot of questions. You guys are keeping me going today. Tom says, hey, Mark, I enjoyed your mindset series. Can you recommend any particular books on mindset that you get a lot out of? You know what? Hang on. It just so happens that I have my my iPad right here. Let me just open up my Kindle app. And let me just take a look through some of the books in my library. What are some of the ones that I have read recently? I've read a lot of books. I read a lot of books. There's one that I'm thinking of in particular, but I'm having a brain fart on the title. Stand by. Why can I not find it? Oh, you got to be kidding me. It's only because I'm looking for it. I've probably scrolled past it 6 times, but I can't see it because it's right in front of my face. I will say The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. That was a really great one. Obviously mindset related to money, but hey, your money mindset is a big part of your success or your success potential in this business. And so I think that we've all got issues around money that we need to address so that we can get over some of the roadblocks that are standing in our way. And a lot of those roadblocks are often invisible roadblocks that we don't even recognize. Here we go. Carol Dweck, Mindset and the New Psychology of Success. I will tell you that one wasn't necessarily an easy read. It gets a little deep, a little intellectual, but it is genius. Mindset, the New Psychology of Success, and it's by Carol Dweck, CarolDweck. Carol Dweck. Actually, you know what? Let me just grab a link to that Mindset. I'll throw it in the chat. Carol Dweck. Stand by. Here we go. This is what it's like to do live on the internet. Everything is happening in real time. Here we go. This is the one. Mindset. There you go. I just threw the link in the chat there if you're interested in checking that out. All right. Again, welcome everyone to Free Advice Friday. It's the birthday edition of Free Advice Friday. Some prizes have already been awarded. Some more prizes will be awarded. So please stand by. I'm also trying to answer as many questions as I can as we go through. Hey, Mark, what recommendations do you have for sourcing, creating e-learning scripts for a DIY e-learning demo? So, I mean, look, I got to tell you straight out of the gate, first and foremost, I always recommend that you get a professional demo whenever possible. And look, I don't sell demos, so I have nothing to gain from giving this advice. This is just straight up advice because it's the right thing to do. You have to remember that when you are competing for voiceover work, you are competing against some of the best professional voice actors in the world. Your e-learning auditions are going to go up against my demo. They're going to go up against, and not that I'm the best, they're going to go up against JMC's demos. They're going to go up against Anne Ganguz's demos, right? Like, name the 10 voice actors that come into your head first when you're thinking about influential voice actors. Your e-learning demo is going to measure up against their e-learning demo. And so you have to always try to put your best foot forward. So it is my personal recommendation that whenever possible, you get a professional demo done, regardless of the genre. And I think that that is in everybody's best interest. I think that you're going to get the greatest return on investment from a professional demo. I know it's not easy to put out a couple $1,000 up front, but an e-learning demo, you could literally make that couple $1,000 back off of one job. That being said, if you are not in a position to get a professional demo and you absolutely have to try to DIY something, the first thing that I would suggest is just listening to other e-learning demos and kind of paying attention to the scripts and the way the scripts are written. Not that you're going to rip them off, but just that you're going to get an idea of the format, of the style, of the flow, and then you can probably start to copyright some of your own. And by copyright, I mean copywriting. You can write your own script copy. So that's what I would suggest, though, is looking at other e-learning demos that are out there and using those as your initial frame of reference. Lauren says, do you recommend sending marketing emails directly out of a CRM or a separate email client? I use Nimble and I send my emails straight out of Nimble, and sending my email straight out of Nimble is often very convenient. I also love the fact that I can do group messages out of Nimble, which is very convenient. I can send up to 100 emails at a time. And so I think that's really handy, but Nimble also integrates with my Gmail. So that's convenient as well, because it gives me the ability to very easily go back and forth. So I think it's ultimately going to depend on the email or rather on the CRM that you're using and what the functionality of it is. I've test driven a couple of other CRMs that don't really have email functionality, and that you can't send emails from the CRM, but they will track emails that you are sending. And so I think that's part of what makes a difference. All right, let's see. Where are we going? Briscoe VO says, let's talk local marketing. Would you recommend actually physically going into a place of business to put in some face time in an attempt to market to your potential clients? Absolutely. Why not? I think that one of our greatest assets that we have as voice actors when we're local is the fact that we are local. And there's something to be said for businesses wanting to do business with local businesses. And I think that if we believe that marketing is all about building relationships, which I do believe that marketing is all about building relationships, then I think that going in and having a sit down, or, having a coffee, or walking in and dropping off a business card or whatever, I think that it absolutely is in your best interest to go out and do that. And why not? Because here's the other thing, and this is one of the reasons why I love the idea of local marketing. You go on a casting site, there's 100,000 voice actors. You go out in your local community, how many voice actors are there in your local community? Depending on where you live, there might only be a handful of you. And so that immediately gives you a leg up on your competition. Briscoe VO, I want you to email mark@markscottvoiceover.com. You have just won access to Booking in Your Backyard, my Booking in Your Backyard Masterclass, which is my local marketing masterclass. So please send me an email to mark@markscottvoiceover.com and just let me know that you won booking in your backyard on Free Advice Friday. And I will set you up with access to that a little bit later on this afternoon. We'll get that so you can start watching that class. That's a class that I recently totally updated, taught it a few weeks ago, all about local marketing and all kinds of ideas for finding voiceover opportunities right within your own community. I definitely think that it's a place that you need to focus your efforts on, because there can be some really great voiceover opportunities in your own backyard. All right, let's see. Where are we going? Never been a fan of nut kicking. Me neither. All right. Wow. I got a lot of catching up to do, eh? We got a lot of questions going on here. Okay. This is the part where I went on my rant about Voice 123 and everybody's having fun listening to me going off on my rant about Voice 123. Lisa says, I love the idea of your demo in smaller videos. Definitely going to do that on my next one. It's been a while. Do demo producers in general offer individual clips or just one MP3? Most demo producers now are willing to split it up into clips, just because a lot of voice actors are using the voice sampler, and on the voice sampler, you have to upload the clips individually. So usually it's pretty easy to get that. Think about this for a second. Let's say that you have a commercial demo, and you have an e-learning demo, and you have a corporate narration demo, and you have an explainer demo. So let's say you've got those 4 demos. And let's say that each one of those 4 demos has 5 spots on it, right? So now you've got 20 spots. So you're going to create a video version for each one of those demos. So that's 4 pieces of content. But then you're going to create a video for each one of those individual clips, which means 5 times 4 is 20. And so from those 4 voiceover demos, you've now created 24 unique pieces of video content, which you could be trickling out across your social media platforms off and on for the next 6 months. Because here's the other thing. Nobody says you can only share it once. And so that gives you 24 pieces of unique content that you could be spreading out across your social media platforms. And so if you're doing it strategically, that content's going to last you a while, which is really good. That content is going to, keep your social media updated, keep your social media current. So creating video versions of your demos, absolutely a smart play. All right, let's see. Where are we going? Yes, I apologize for my rant. Not really, though. It needs to be said. Realizing that you're wearing a Dr. Pepper shirt while I'm drinking a limited edition dark berry Dr. Pepper. Hey, I'm always on brand. Always on brand. What challenges are a successful teen VO talent going to have when aging up to adult jobs? Ooh, that's a good question. And you know what? The reality is that they are going to have challenges, because that's when your voice is going through the biggest changes, right? So one of the things that I would definitely be thinking about is future-proofing your business. And how do you future-proof your business? I am going to be looking at, there's going to come a point where I'm not going to be able to do some of those jobs that I have been doing, because I'm going to sound different. I'm going to sound older. My voice is going to shift. So what kind of work do I want to transition into, and how can I better prepare myself to transition into that? So maybe that means starting to build a database of leads up front. That's also going to mean at some point you're going to need to redo all of your demos, and those demos are going to have to be more current to not only what your current voice sounds like, but also current to the trends and the new type of work that you are trying to find. But that is definitely a transition that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I think, as your kids start coming into their later teenage years, with guys in particular, usually their voices change a lot more. You could go from, voicing Barney toys to all of a sudden your kid wakes up one morning and sounds like James Earl Jones. And so that's definitely going to make a difference and have an impact. So that's what I'd be thinking about, is how can I start now thinking about future proofing? Can I start building a database of leads? Can I start having questions with some of our existing clients about whether or not there's going to be opportunities going forward, or are they only hiring for kid voices? And then start budgeting now to get some new demos made so that when the time comes that those demos need to get done, you're not getting hit with this huge bill up front because all of a sudden you got to do all of the demos right away. Great question. I had a really great interview with Susan Glow from the Glow Girls. Let me just pull that podcast up. And though it doesn't specifically talk about, your kids transitioning, as they grow into adults, she did offer a ton of amazing advice for managing your kids' voiceover careers. So for any of you that have kids doing voiceover or that have kids that are interested in doing voiceover, Susan has done an amazing job managing the careers of her two girls, the Glow Girls. They're doing amazing things. So that's an episode that would definitely be worth checking out. All right, moving on. Regarding follow-ups with bulk mailed content, which email program do you think best integrates with Nimble? So Nimble allows you to send up to 100 group messages in a day, which is really handy. And so if I know that I'm going to be bulk emailing a lot of my clients, what I might just do is send 75 emails today, 75 emails the next day, 75 emails the day after that, right? Kind of just split it up. But I also know that Nimble does integrate with MailChimp. I can't tell you how because I've never used the integration, but I know the integration is there. And so I would say definitely look at using MailChimp and Nimble together because I know those two do seem to get along. They seem to play well in the same sandbox. Let's see. The lower tier, so we're talking voice 1, 2, 3. The lower tier makes getting those upper percentiles difficult as you only get the auditions that the higher tiers passed up or that they already have a bunch of submitted submitted by the time it reaches you. Yes and no. That's not necessarily true because what you have to remember is there are people that are paying in at $800 that are in the bottom 50%, right? There are people paying in at $1,000 that are in the bottom 50% because they're not using the site properly. The amount of money that you pay is a factor, but it is not the primary factor. It is not the only factor. And I get more into that in my interview with Rolf. I interviewed Rolf, the CEO of Voice 123. This is where you really do have to have a deep understanding of how the site works. And there is a lot of misconceptions about how the site works. And so Rolf does dive into some of those. That episode of the podcast, that interview is coming out on September the 29th. So keep an eye out for that interview. Lisa Ray says, what do you recommend to learn the audio editing side of the business? Do people take classes, learn hands-on, etc.? I think there's a couple of options for you for learning the audio side. I worked with Uncle Roy. He does his 2-hour life-changing Adobe Audition session. I believe he also teaches Audacity if you're using Audacity. So that's a session where you kind of go live on Zoom and he kind of walks you through step-by-step how to do a lot of that stuff. So I would certainly say that it would be worth reaching out and having a conversation with Uncle Roy from Antland Productions. Jordan Reynolds offers a really great class. It's called the Audio Ninja Masterclass. Let me look that one up. Audio Ninja. I know a few people that have taken that and said that it was really great. Lots to learn, kind of all the basics of getting your from home studio into pro studio to all the different things that impact your sound and whatnot. So you might want to check that one out. I'll throw a link to that in the chat. That's just a link to his website. So that would definitely be somebody that I would look up as well. Guys, I apologize. I'm trying to get to every question, but there's a lot of people on today, and I know I'm probably missing some. Mark, where did you get that rad Dr. Pepper shirt from? This actually, I have a couple of Dr. Pepper shirts that came from the Dr. Pepper Museum in Waco, Texas. I actually visited the Dr. Pepper Museum in Waco, Texas a couple of years ago and picked up a bunch of shirts. Derek says, do you A/B test first lines and first paragraphs to see if people are just previewing versus actually opening? When I'm doing email marketing to new voiceover leads, the only thing that I have really ever A/B tested is subject lines. And I still can't say that I have found one subject line that is far superior to another. However, I don't think you can ever go wrong by doing some A/B testing because I do think that it can open your eyes to how subtle little changes in language or how tweaking one sentence can make a big difference. And for those unfamiliar with A/B testing, it's let's say you create a marketing email template and you've got two versions of that template, and you're going to send one version to 25 people and you're going to send the other version to a different 25 people. And then you're going to see which one got the best results. And so you can test that with subject lines. You can test that with the actual email copy. There's different ways that you can do that. You just kind of, depending on what you're using for email, you'll have to keep track of the results yourself. But I do think that there's definitely a place to do some A/B testing. All right, let's see. Where else are we going? Archibald Studios, happy birthday and thank you for spending a piece of it with us. Love my voice sampler. Yep, voice sampler is absolutely awesome. Big B, I'm a bit of a mix with commercial animation and now seeking medical narration. I would say if you're seeking animation, Twitter's a really great place to spend time. And if you are seeking medical narration, I think LinkedIn would be a place to spend time, and not just hanging out, but looking for people to connect with on Twitter in the animation, character, gaming space, and looking for people to connect with in the medical and e-learning space on LinkedIn. Let's see. Sean says the Audio Ninja class is amazing. There you go. So there's another +1 for Jordan. Lisa says Jordan's Audio Ninja class is amazeballs. So there you go. There's another +1 for Jordan's class. So I would say either one of those. I think it depends on your learning style. Jordan's class is that it's a class, and so you're going to be able to kind of follow along, learn at your leisure type deal, watch the videos. Uncle Roy tends to do Zoom sessions, and he might take control of your computer remotely and walk through stuff on the software and teach you how to do it, and then answer your specific questions as you go. And so I think part of it is just what's your learning preference. Do you want to do a video class, or do you want to have the ability to have some one-on-one interaction and go about it that way? Let's see what else. Guys, I apologize. I'm trying not to miss any questions. Hey, Mark, have you made it through the Teddy Roosevelt, Edmund Morin series? I did. The funny thing that gets me about when I'm reading these biographies is I know that they die in the end, but when a biography is really well written, you feel the emotion of the build up to the death. And I felt that when I was reading the Teddy Roosevelt volumes. And I recently reread the Steve Jobs biography. Like a couple weeks ago, I was rereading the Steve Jobs biography, and I felt the feels all over again as they were building up. And it's like, I know he died. I know he's dead. But that's when I think you've read a really good biography. Kay says, do you think sending physical postcards to local production studios is worth it? I say, what do you got to lose? I mean, for me, when I'm doing postcard marketing, I think one of the things that I really love about postcard marketing is that it's not a strategy that a lot of other voice actors are doing. Everybody's doing email, everybody's doing digital, everybody's doing social media. And so I think with postcards, it does give you the opportunity to stand out because, hey, how much fun is it to show up to the mailbox and get some actual mail that isn't a bill or that isn't some piece of spam or whatever. And so I do think that there's a place to do it. But what I would say, if you're going to do postcards, I think it's really important that they have at least some sort of level of personalization, right? Just a quick hello and would love to meet you, or, would love to stop by sometime, or, would love to take you for coffee, or some kind of a personal element that's written into the postcard. I think that's how it's going to stand out. And it's not just going to get immediately thrown in the trash bin at the post office. But I do think that there's a place for doing postcards. Absolutely. Hannah says, I'm in the top 10% on Voice 123, but only applying for German jobs paying $99 a year. And Hannah, that's a great point. That's one of the things that Rolf talks about in the interview. I asked him, I'm like, why do you have so many membership tiers? And he said, it's because for certain voice actors in other countries where there's not as many opportunities, it's not really fair to make them pay high dollar value membership fees when they're not going to get access to as many possibilities. And so that's where some of those lower tiered memberships are designed for somebody that's exactly in your circumstance. Again, it's a great interview with Rolf. And I would certainly encourage everybody to listen to it when it comes out. Again, that one's coming out on September 29th. Let's see. I'm scrolling. I'm trying not to miss anything. Have I missed anything? I apologize if I've missed anything. Thank you, everybody, for all of the birthday wishes. I greatly appreciate it. Big B says, do we really need to have social media accounts on every platform? I find the thought of managing that to be overwhelming. If you had to pick one or two, which would you pick? Okay, so that's where that question, where some of those other posts were coming from. Yeah, absolutely not necessary to have every single social media account. I think that it does depend entirely on the type of work that you are trying to do. I think that as I mentioned, if you're looking in the character gaming animation space, I think there's a very, very active community on Twitter. And I do think that Twitter is a really logical place for that. I have found that on the e-learning side, the corporate narration side, there's an incredibly active community on LinkedIn. And so I definitely think that that is a place where I would be. That is where I spend the bulk of my time, is on LinkedIn, because I know that that's where a lot of the audience that I'm trying to reach is at. I do think that there's a lot of production companies, more generalized video production companies on Instagram. And obviously they're sharing their content. And now that Instagram is putting a big push onto reels and video, I think that you're going to find that production companies are going to be spending even more time on that platform. So, I mean, look, do you have to have all of them? Absolutely not. I think that you're better to pick one or two and do those one or two really, really, really well. And then, if you miss out on a few opportunities here and there from some of the other platforms, who cares? Because you're doing really well with the platforms that you do have. So, I mean, for me, if you told me, Mark, you can only use 2 social media platforms going forward, based on the work that I do, I would say I would pick LinkedIn and I would pick Instagram. Big B, I want you to email me, mark@markscottvoiceover.com. I'm going to hook you up with a copy of Making Money with LinkedIn. That is my 2-hour masterclass on how to make money with LinkedIn. It's going to walk you through everything, setting up your profile, getting all the different sections filled out properly to rank better in search, how to make connections and build those relationships, and just everything that you need to know about using LinkedIn. So Big B, please email mark@markscottvoiceover.com. And let me know that you won Making Money with LinkedIn on Free Advice Friday. I'll be watching for that email, and I will get you hooked up on that a little bit later on today. So there you go, guys. We've been on for 56 minutes, and we've already given away $600 worth of prizes, just like that. That's welcome to the birthday edition of Free Advice Friday. Having some fun, giving away some prizes, hanging out. Celebrating my birthday, because I mean, why not? What else are you gonna do, right? All right, let's see. Where are we going? My alma mater, San Jose State, California, has a small business development center. Since I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, do you think it's a good idea to join the group? Why not? Look, there are no borders anymore. When it comes to voiceover, your potential audience is anywhere in the world where your language is spoken. Thanks to the internet and thanks to services like Zoom or Skype or Source Connect or IPDTL or Bodalgo Call or whatever, with home studios, we can literally record for anybody from anywhere. And so absolutely, I think that it's worth working those types of connections where you've already got a built-in network, because you're not limited by geography anymore. So definitely make that connection, Stephen. I think that is time investment that would be well spent. Bill says V123 Pros is great, but on V123, so much depends on getting the client to smash the like button, which is a hard ask. Apparently, they are weighed far too heavily. Yeah, that is the challenge, and that is one of the very direct and tough questions that I put to Rolf in the interview. We talked about the fact that the like system is flawed. What's really interesting is we only see the like system from the voice actor side, and we don't understand what it's like on the client side. And what we need to remember as voice actors, we need to remember sometimes we got to take a step back, and we have to realize that there's a bigger picture here. Voice 123 is trying to keep voice buyers happy and keep them coming back to the platform, and keeping the system as easy to use as possible for the voice buyers so that they will keep coming back to the platform. But they're also trying to keep the voice actors happy as well. And what you have to think about is the more barriers that you add on the voice buyer side, the more hoops that you make the buyer jump through, the greater risk that they don't come back. And so it's a tough balance. And when you hear Rolf talk about it, I think that it's going to open your eyes a little bit. I know that it opened my eyes because it's really easy for us to only see the voice acting side and get frustrated. But there's a tightrope walk that's happening with Voice 123, trying to balance both sides of that equation. So, what time is it? Oh, wow. It's 2:00. Let me just check. I'm going to quickly check through here. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions, or I mean, I know I missed some, but I want to try to get. I got one more question. Let me do one more question, guys. Again, thank you so much for coming to the live stream. Thank you for all of the amazing birthday wishes. Congratulations to Brent, to Robert, to Briscoe, and to Big B. Brent winning a copy of Follow Up Academy. Robert winning a copy of 101 Ways to Find Voiceover Leads. Briscoe winning a copy of Booking in Your Backyard. Big B winning a copy of Making Money with LinkedIn. Again, just a reminder, guys, every course that I offer right now is available on sale for $50 off today. We'll call it the birthday sale. So I just threw the link in the chat. If you're interested in checking out any of the classes that I offer, check that link. Save $50 off if you buy today. All right. Diane says, I have had a few explainer videos. I have had a few explainer video producers mention I should have an animation demo. Does that seem to be the case industry-wide for explainer demos, or for explainer videos? I do think you need to have an explainer video demo. I do think that explainers themselves are a different enough genre from commercial or corporate narration that they warrant their own demo. They do have their own style, their own vibe. And so if you don't have an explainer video demo, I absolutely think that it is worth it to get one if you are trying to work in that space or currently booking in that space. An explainer demo and an animation demo, though, are two totally different things. And so I would be very cautious to make sure that you understand. So most explainer videos are animated explainer videos. And so that just means that they're using animation, motion graphics, things of that nature to create those videos. And so that's maybe where they're tossing around the word animation. But I do think if you want to work in the explainer space, get an explainer demo. J. Michael Collins did my explainer demo. I love it. It turned out fantastic. He's really great in that space. So if that's a genre you're thinking about, I would definitely say look into getting an explainer video genre or explainer video demo, but understanding that there is a difference between explainers and animation. Animation and character, something completely different. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. As always, I got to jump out because I have an e-learning job that I need to record, and I need to get that done before some birthday festivities start a little bit later on tonight. I will not be available for Free Advice Friday next week. Unfortunately, I do have some plans, so I will not be available for Free Advice Friday next week. But let me take a look ahead. I do have Free Advice Friday in my schedule for September 30th. So there you go. So Free Advice Friday will return on Friday, September 30th. Listen to the new episode of the podcast at videopreneur.com. It's an interview with Armin from Bodalgo, talking all about that platform. This is all part of the online casting site series. Visit my website at markscottcoaching.com/shop. Check out the different courses that I have to offer if you're interested in any of them. Again, they are all on sale for $50 off, and they will stay that way for the rest of the day. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. It was fun to spend some time with you. I hope you've learned a few things from this, and I do apologize if I didn't get to your question. Hopefully we can get to it next time around. Whatever you decide to do this weekend, have fun, stay safe, and as always, you know you need to go find some leads.